What's going on, you guys? Namacon here, bringing you my perspective as to what entertainment is really nuts. And welcome to another new episode of Worthy or Not, whether I talk about video game characters, whether they are worthy of joining Super Smash Brothers. And I today is a pretty big episode today, as I'm going to be talking about Sans from Undertale. So Sans is is actually not the main character of Undertale. He's actually a side character from the game. So the main character is he actually doesn't have a name. So Sans is like one of the side is like one of the major characters in the game. You meet him like almost uh, like pretty early in the game actually. He also does have a partner named Papyrus, but I'm gonna get into that later. So what would Sans do? So Sans if you so Sans has a completely has some different personalities. So but it depends on how you play Undertale. So if you defeat grunts, regular enemies, I mean you're fine. But as soon as you defeat bosses, that's where Sans is gonna draw the line a little bit. So so there's two routes for Undertale. So there's the pacifist and the genocide route. If you go to the genocide route, that is where Sans's potential moveset comes into play because uh, Sans if you put in the genocide if you go for the genocide route, Sans is the one of the final bosses, or maybe he's the final boss of the game. So and if you fight against him, that's where all the movesets come into play, as you can see from the video. So in one of the and if you know that in Smash Brothers he does appear as a Mii costume. He does have a blaster of sorts where he does have some sort of a blaster. I'm not sure if that's a thing in Undertale. It might be a thing where he has it all over his arms, but so yeah, that could be a useful thing for that could be something useful. Like you could use that as a neutral special if if he actually comes back as a fully fledged playable character. And he one of his movesets is one of the things that Sans do is that he puts you in like a jail cell, like some sort of a booby trap of sorts. So I think that would be like a he that would probably be like some sort of a count. That would probably be like some sort of a counter he would do. As soon as you attack Sans, he would put you like in a cage. I would imagine that's how it would work. So, full disclosure, I did play Undertale, but I didn't play the genocide route. I played the pacifist route. So, as for costumes, so there's you can kind of reskin his color. It's not that hard of a it's not that hard to pull off. Like you can literally do the black. You can literally do one of his alternate costumes should be like the black and white costume uh uh you don't you it, since when you fight Sans he's mostly in black and white, whereas in in the hub worlds, yeah, that's where you can see him in colored form. I mean, as you can see here, this artist made some pretty cool alternate colors, and this is under the assumption that Papyrus joins him. That's another idea that some people have. if Sans were to become a playable character, Papyrus should join too because they're they're like I think they're brothers or siblings at least. I think they're siblings. I do. I'm pretty sure that's the truth. So uh, as you can see, like I said before, Sans was a me. This is a me costume, by the way. This isn't Sans in fully playable form. This is a me costume. So he is a full fledged me costume in Smash Ultimate. I he's a me gunner. He's part of the me gunner lineup. So I did putting like this is actually such an insane thing to do. Like I do need to preface this. Undertale is not like a well. Undertale isn't like a big intellectual property. This is an indie game, and I need to reiterate this: an indie game. And and the fact that this indie game got into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate shows that this game was a huge deal. Like this game was a huge deal. It still is a huge deal, back back when it first came out, people could not stop talking about it. I mean, people still talk about it, but not as much as Toby Fox's other game. But I will get into that later. But so there are some Undertale fans that do prefer the playable character the unnamed playable character in the game. I think they call in Undertale they call him the human, but the community calls the human Frisk. And Frisk. The reason why the name Frisk is passed around is because if you type the name Frisk in the game, the game turns into hard mode essentially. So that's why the name stuck. I do know that some people, pref- I do know that some people want to see Frisk because he's the guy you play as. He's the main. He's like the player that you that experiences the world in Undertale. But I think I mean I mean if if I were to choose between the two, it's easily Sans. Sans has Sans has the person Sans has the way better character design. He has the personality, and his design is super iconic. Like when you think of Undertale, the first character people think of, is Sans. I don't think people are gonna argue. I don't think people are gonna argue with me on this. Like, there's a reason why uh when it, when it comes to Undertale merch, there's so much Sans merch. Like Sans has so many merch, and there's a lot of cosplay for Sans. You don't see that much for Frisk. I see way more merch and cosplay for Papyrus than I do for Frisk. Like I honestly if you were to ask me what Undertale character I would choose, for sure it's Sans. Like there's a reason why he's literally a me costume in Smash Ultimate. But there is another game that was created by Toby Fox that people want, and his name is Chris from Deltarune. As of the making of this video, Deltarune still has more chapters to be created. I think it's in chapter 5 or 6. I have not played Deltarune yet. I have finished the pacifist mode of Undertale, so I think it's in chapter 5 or 6. Don't quote me on that. So yeah, I think but from the few footages I see, there is moveset potential for Chris. And I definitely see why people want Chris. He does have an it he does have a pretty cool design. And and I have seen quite a bit of cosplay and merch from him. So there is a case to be made, but honestly, compared to Sans, it's not. It's not close. It's not close. Come on, Sans has become like some sort of an icon of sorts. He's also been memed to death for whatever that's worth. So as for as do I think Sans is worthy of joining Super Smash Bros. As a playable character? I think he has. I think he is honestly. Like why wouldn't Sakurai put him in as a Mii costume if Undertale wasn't such a big deal? Like Sans is literally one of the most requested third party characters for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I remember like he consistently ranks in like the top 10. Like Undertale is literally a huge deal. Even for indie game standards. I think it's due to the fact that in the indie scene has grown so much, and Sans is like one of the front. Sans is like one of the front runners of the huge indie movement. Uh, 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 and he won't be the first indie character to be added in Super Smash Bros. As a playable character. That honor goes to Minecraft Steve. Even though Minecraft is not an indie game anymore, it did start it out as an indie game. So that should be pointed out. But if you want a but if you want to go for a character that is still indie, I Sans from Undertale is one I would not be against. But if it were up to me, uh, honestly, I would prioritize Cave Story. I mean, I guess for me, a Cave Story is like the grandfather of indie games. Like it is like Cave Story is literally the reason why Undertale exists. Yeah, Cave Stories. I don't know if Toby Fox was influenced by Cave Story. I wouldn't be surprised if he is, but Cave Story did wonders for the indie movement. Like without Cave Story, a lot of indie games would not exist. So I well I so I wouldn't be well I would prioritize Quote and Curly from Cave Story. I would not be against Sans, as Undertale is way more popular. So for those of you that think, dude, so do you guys think Sans is worthy of joining Super Smash Bros? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and if you want to, you can join me. You can follow me on Instagram, Backloggd, and Letterboxd down in the description down below. This is Namacon. I'll see you all next time.